She told me his life didn't matter to her. She said she didn't care who he dated, where he lived, what he was doing, or whether he even existed anymore. She said his name like it tasted old and bitter. Just my ex, she'd shrug. He's not in my life. And I believed her. Because I wanted to. Until one afternoon, I came home early, and I heard her voice through the door. Soft. Careful. Intimate. Not the voice she used with me when I asked how her day was. The voice you use when the other person still has access to you. I stood in the hallway with my hand on the handle, frozen, listening as she laughed quietly and said something that ended everything. I missed hearing you. Before we move on, make sure you're subscribed if you want more stories like this. Thanks. I'm 29. My name is Eric. I work in logistics for a regional supply company. I'm the guy who gets yelled at when something doesn't show up on time, even though I'm the guy trying to make sure it does. It's long hours. It's constant calls. It's stress that follows you home. But it pays well enough for me to have a decent apartment, a decent car, and a life that was finally starting to feel stable. Until I moved in with Kara. Kara was 27, worked in event planning, and had the kind of confidence that makes people orbit her without realizing they're doing it. She was loud in a room, magnetic, the kind of woman who could tell a story about getting coffee and make it sound like an adventure. When we started dating, I thought I'd gotten lucky. Not just because she was beautiful, because she felt alive. And after a few relationships that had felt quiet and slow, alive felt like a win. We were together for a little over 2 years when we moved in. It felt like the normal next step. Her lease was ending. My place was bigger. We were already spending almost every night together, so she moved in like she belonged there. And for the first few months, it was good. Not perfect, but good. We had routines, groceries on Sunday, takeout on Friday, lazy mornings where she'd steal my hoodie and drink coffee on the balcony. She posted pictures of us like she was proud. She'd call me babe in public. She'd reach for my hand like it was automatic. And when I asked about her ex, she didn't act weird. His name was Damien. They dated in college, lived together for a year, then crashed and burned, according to her. He was dramatic, she said. Controlling. Always trying to pull her back into chaos. I don't care what he's doing anymore, she told me early on. That part of my life is dead. I liked that answer. It sounded clean. It sounded mature. It sounded like she'd moved on. Then little things started feeling off. It started with timing. Every day, I'd leave for work around 8 a.m. Kara would still be in bed, half asleep, mumbling "love you" as I kissed her forehead. I'd text her on my lunch break sometimes. "How's your day?" She'd reply fast. "Busy, lots going on." Then, almost like clockwork, when I got home around 6:30, she'd be in a good mood. Not just relaxed, charged, like she'd had a full social day, but she'd tell me she'd been home working all day. It didn't match. Sometimes I'd come home and she'd be cleaning aggressively, like she'd forgotten time existed and then remembered I was coming. Sometimes she'd already be showered and dressed, even though she swore she hadn't left the apartment. Sometimes her phone would be face down on the table, and she'd pick it up the second I walked in. Little shifts. Nothing that would hold up in court, but enough to make my stomach tighten in ways I didn't understand yet. One night, I asked casually, "Who were you talking to earlier?" Kara barely looked up from her laptop. "No one," she said. "Just people." People. That's what you say when you don't want the next question. I tried to be normal. I tried to be the secure boyfriend, because I'd seen men destroy relationships by becoming suspicious and paranoid. I didn't want to be that guy, so I swallowed the weird feeling and kept going. Until the phone calls started. It was subtle at first. I'd call her during the day and it would ring. Sometimes she'd answer with a slightly breathless voice. "Hey, what's up?" Sometimes she wouldn't answer at all. Then 10 minutes later, she'd text. "Sorry, couldn't pick up. On a call." With who? A client? A vendor? My mom? Any answer but a name. And the weird part was, it always happened when I was at work. If I called her at night, she'd answer immediately. If I called her on weekends, she'd answer immediately. But Monday through Friday, between 9 and 5, she was mysteriously unreachable. I brushed it off. Then I noticed something I couldn't explain away. Her call log. I didn't even mean to see it. Her phone was on the counter while she was in the shower, and it lit up with a missed call notification. I glanced, expecting to see a random number. It was saved as D. Just one letter. Not Damien. Not a full name. Just D. And I felt that cold drop in my stomach again. When she came out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her hair, I nodded at the phone. "Who's D?" I asked lightly. Kara froze for half a second. Then she laughed. "Oh my God, that's nothing," she said. "It's just Damien. I saved him like that a long time ago." "Why is he calling you?" I asked. She rolled her eyes like I'd asked something childish. "Because he's annoying, Eric. He calls sometimes. He's blocked half the time. I ignore it. I didn't press. Because if you press, you become the jealous guy. And she already knew how to make me feel stupid for asking." A week later, I started noticing her behavior around my schedule. If I told her I'd be working late, she'd suddenly get dressed. If I told her I had an early meeting, she'd stay up later than usual, scrolling her phone like she was waiting for something. If I left the apartment and came back because I forgot something, she'd look surprised. Not guilty. Surprised. Like my routine was predictable enough for her to plan around. And I started hearing the same excuse too often. "Damien called again," she said one evening, like she was reporting the weather. "Why?" I asked. She shrugged. "I don't know. Probably just bored. It's not like I care." But she did care, because she always picked up. That's what hit me one day, finally, like a brick. It wasn't that he called. It was that she answered. Every time. And she didn't answer my calls at work. She answered his. I didn't confront her that night. I waited. And once you decide to wait, you start collecting proof without even trying. Tuesday, I called her at 1:10 p.m. No answer. At 1:14, she texted, "On a call." At 1:22, she called me back, cheerful. "What's up?" Like nothing happened. Thursday, same thing. Friday, same thing. Then Monday, I left my phone recording voice notes in my car while I walked back upstairs because I'd forgotten my laptop charger. I didn't even think about it. I just went back. And when I got to our door, I heard her through the wood. Not loud, not crying, laughing, soft and private. I unlocked the door quietly and stepped inside. Kara was standing in the kitchen, barefoot, leaning against the counter. Phone pressed to her ear. She didn't see me at first. Her voice was low. "I know," she said. "I shouldn't even be talking to you. Eric would freak out if he knew." Then she laughed. Not the laugh she gave me. A smaller one? A warmer one. I stood there, frozen. Then she said the line that ended everything. "I missed hearing you." My chest went cold. Kara finally turned and saw me. Her face drained instantly. She pulled the phone away from her ear like it burned. "Eric," she whispered. The call ended. Not because she hung up, because Damien hung up. He'd heard me, and I realized he'd known about me the whole time. She stared at me like a trapped animal. I didn't yell. I didn't slam anything. I didn't even ask who it was, because I already knew. "Damien," I said calmly. She swallowed hard. "It's not what it sounds like." That sentence is the most insulting thing a person can say after being caught, because it always sounds exactly like what it is. "You said his life doesn't matter to you," I said, voice quiet. "You said he wasn't in your life." Kara's eyes flashed. "He's not," she snapped. "He just calls. He's pathetic. He's lonely. He needs someone to talk to." "And you're that someone," I said. She took a step toward me. "Eric, please," she said. "You're making this into something it isn't." I nodded slowly. "You answer him every day when I'm at work," I said. "You don't answer me. You answer him. Kara opened her mouth, then closed it. Her silence was the confession. I turned and walked into the bedroom. She followed, panicked. What are you doing? Packing, I said. Her voice went high. You're seriously doing this? Over a phone call? Over a lie, I corrected. I pulled drawers open, grabbed hangers, folded shirts with robotic precision. Kara stood in the doorway crying now, but it felt too late. I wasn't reacting to the call. I was reacting to the fact that my relationship had a schedule. I was reacting to the fact that my absence was her window. I was reacting to the fact that she'd been saving access to him like it was a secret hobby. I packed a suitcase, then another. Then I grabbed my documents, my laptop, the small things that mattered. I didn't take furniture. I didn't take the TV. I didn't want revenge. I wanted clean separation. Kara tried everything. Anger. So what? I can't talk to my ex. Guilt. You're abandoning me. Gaslighting. You're insecure, Eric. You need help. I didn't take the bait. I carried my bags to the car, came back for one last thing, my spare key. I took it off the hook by the door and set it on the counter. Kara stood behind me, shaking. Where are you going? She whispered. I turned to her. You said his life doesn't matter, I said, but you keep making room for it. She sobbed. I didn't move toward her. I didn't comfort her, because comfort is what kept me trapped. I walked out. That night, she called me 20 times. Then she texted. Please come back. Then she texted again. He doesn't matter. You matter. Then the final one. At 2:17 a.m., I blocked him now. I swear. Please. I stared at that message for a long time, because it wasn't the first time she had the option to block him. It was just the first time it had consequences. And I realized something simple. If someone only respects your boundaries after you leave, they never respected you. They respected your tolerance. It's been 4 months. I'm in a new apartment closer to my job. It's quieter, cleaner, less emotional noise, and I learned the difference between someone who chose you and someone who just used you as a safe base while they stayed connected to the past. Kara didn't lose her ex. She kept him secretly, like an addiction. What she lost was me, the person who loved her enough to believe her, the person who trusted her when she said his life didn't matter. I didn't leave because she talked to him. I left because she lied about it every single day, and because I finally understood that my job wasn't the only place I was being used for stability. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button for more. And tell me in the comments, what would you do if you found out your partner only talked to their ex when you weren't around?